Obviously super exciting to be starting training camp. I think the guys came out with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy. Still plenty to work on. I think our installs throughout the summer were pushed so far forward, we were able to do more. And so naturally when there's more in, there's going to be more mistakes. So certainly not the cleanest practice, but I love where we're at from an energy level. I love where we're at from an enthusiasm level. And I think it's definitely some things to build on for the rest of fall camp.
Pete, you can open us up.
Listening to your remarks afterwards, it sounds like you're setting a pretty high bar for them this year for practice.
Yes, sir. Like I said, was today's practice bad? No, but I didn't think it was good enough for where we want to get to. If we want to take this program to where we want to get back to, we have to do a little bit better job consistently with the way we practice, and not so much what we're doing, but just the way we're doing it.
What do you specifically need to see in the next one?
I think offensively, just cleaning up the small things, pre-snap things specifically, and we got to make sure that we're open. When we're open, we got to finish plays. Had a couple guys down the field open today. Either we did not get it to, or they did not secure it. So we just need to do a much better job on the execution, especially offensively. Defensively, I thought we still need to continue to work on communication, especially when the picture changes.
When you're talking about communication and execution, all that together, at what point does that fall under culture versus like experience or talent?
I think, when we're early, it's probably more experience. A lot of these guys are doing fall camp for the first time. We got a ton of freshmen. We got a lot of transfers. But at the end of the day, our culture is we want to get better every day. It doesn't matter what happens, we got to get better. And I know that we'll do that, but I want to see it happen a lot faster than we did today.
Seems like the quarterbacks were on the move a lot. What do you think about the offensive line's performance today?
It's a lot harder when you don't have pads on. The defense has a major advantage against, especially the D lineman, and against the offensive lineman when there's no pads. Some of the movements by design, some of it is some assignment things, but overall, I'm not too worried about the front on the offensive side, because again, the defense does have a major advantage with no pads.
It looked like Art Williams and Howard Stecker were still on kind of restricted minutes. Anybody else you're kind of easing back in here?
Those are the big ones. Jack Giannini was another one that wasn't full go. Mason Comer's not quite full go yet. But really with Art, just trying to make sure that we can do this the right way. Obviously, he's an incredibly talented player. We just want to make sure that if he's able to play for us this season, that he can play all of our games and make it to the end of the season. So being pretty careful with him. Howard, in a similar situation, he's played a bunch of snaps for us, and we just want to make sure he can get to the dance healthy. Yeah, it was impressive. No, it was really impressive. Geovoney Burks, from Portland, Oregon, is an absolute monster in terms of athleticism. And so anytime you get a really talented athlete that starts to figure it out quickly, you get to see him make a bunch of plays. And I thought Gio did a great job today, just being in the right spots, trusting his eyes. Now, I'm sure he made a ton of mistakes as well, but he also made a ton of plays that really stuck out in my mind today. So that's why we gave him the axe.
One of the things that stood out positively was that nice 40-yard completion from Josh to Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that connection I know is still going. Those guys have been working tremendously hard throughout the winter, spring, and summer to continue to build that connection. Marquann's a guy that is a playmaker. He can do a lot of different things with the ball, so it is nice to see that connection continue, and I know it's going to also get better.
Was there any other offensive weapons that stood out to you today?
It was really nice to have Junior Alexander back. He had probably 3 or 4 catches, a couple in 7-on-7, a couple in team. But he's such a veteran presence. He's strong-handed, very smart. And so it was really nice to see him back. And he definitely stood out to me today on the offensive side.
This might be something close to your opening statement, but first time back from non-football activities and OTAs, really on the field today. What was the atmosphere like for you to be on the field with these guys?
It's exciting. I think, like we told the group, fall camp is not a destination, right? It's just part of the journey, and now we've hit that part of the journey. We've cleared the winter, we've cleared the spring, we've cleared the summer. This is just another part, so I'm just excited to be back to playing real football, getting meaningful time with these guys, not just on the field, but in the classroom as well. So just so excited to be back, and I think the guys are too.
How does it compare to where you guys were at last year on the first day, and then
starting with your first question, I think just seeing the amount of experience, especially on defense, I think just looking from last year and you fast forward it to now, our secondary is light years ahead of where they were a year ago. I think The communication portion of defense is much improved from a year ago. But again, a lot of that comes with experience. Guys that have been in those situations, been in those practices, and so it was really nice to see that. From my perspective, it's a little bit different. I feel like this year's preparation was not such a crash course, right? When you get a job in January and you're hiring 17 coaches and you're trying to get 30, almost 40 guys out of the transfer portal, a lot of it is like drinking through a fire hose. And so I think this year just felt a lot more slowed down, felt like we're much more prepared, and so practice was really practice instead of, oh, what did we forget? What did we miss? We didn't miss anything. And so I think the preparation has just been so much better, and it makes it a lot easier for me, especially on practice days.
Was there anything or anyone that really surprised you or stood out to you today?
Geovoney Burks. I was not anticipating him making so many plays in his first ever practice. Obviously he's got plenty more time to develop, and that linebacking group is very deep, but it's extremely encouraging to see someone that just got to campus 6 weeks ago making a bunch of plays in his first practice.
We're gonna go last couple questions here.
Donaldson got that ball that he goes for.
I don't think so. No.
But it was a nice breakup.
Yeah, very nice play.
And Dalton had another nice one as well.
Yeah, both those guys have had great off seasons. We got Davon here in the winter, and he kind of had a big adjustment from the junior college ranks. And once he really got adjusted, he's one of the most physical linebackers we have on this roster. I know he's going to help us a ton on special teams. And then Heisen, he's another guy that had a tremendous off season. I kind of challenged him. A lot of guys in his situation transferred here last year in the summer, didn't play probably as much as he wanted to. A lot of guys just transfer in the winter and go, I'm going to move on. And he did not do that. And so I think he's really answered the challenge in terms of his preparation. That is something that has really changed in Heisen, is just the way he's preparing, not just for practice and workouts, but as we go on to the season, being a guy that can be consistently good long term.
Last question with Coach here.
I know it's just day one, but what do you think about the players reacting to the different schemes and different fits of the coordinators?
I think it was good. These guys have seen the schemes, since spring ball, so I don't think there was a ton of new stuff. Obviously offensively, we were really trying to see what our guys can handle, and I think that we weren't as crisp as a result. But I don't think there was anything that was too surprising from either side of the football. So just want to see a little bit more consistency from the offensive side tomorrow, and I know that defense will keep running around and flying to the football. So definitely some things we can improve on, but excited about the first practice for sure.
Quite an honor for you. Walk us through, were you expecting that? What were your thoughts as you got to be the first winner of fall camp?
I say not really. I definitely, I think I had a good day today, but I had a lot to build off of. But I definitely made some plays. It was a good day. I'm grateful to win the X today.
Probably a whirlwind. I mean, you said you just got here about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
New to campus, new to the college level, all of that. I mean, what's been going through your mind? Is it just surreal?
Yeah, it's crazy. The first 2 weeks, I say it was pretty hard to adjust. New playbook, new environment, but it's just, I feel like I've been building week by week, each day, just getting better, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here today.
How does it feel working with a the college defense on this field, practicing, I guess, really your first actual practice with this team?
Yeah, it's crazy, especially just looking around and taking everything in. I'm blessed, I'll say that. But it's got to get up to speed with the college speed, translating from high school. It's just been a big adjustment, but I think I'm getting there pretty well.
Well, now you've got your coach's attention after your first practice. How do you build on that?
I say just keeping it rolling, doing what I've been doing, just keep my foot on the pedal, just keep getting better each day.
Defense, you guys are high flying out there. What's the adjustment like to play that fast, but also play with this new scheme like?
I'd say we have a good coach. He puts us in position to make plays for sure, but you just gotta trust him and just make sure you have everything down so that you can play your full speed.
Who's going to be the first call or text for you to tell them?
I'm calling my mom and my sister and my brother and my grandma, all 4 of them. I'm making a group FaceTime call for all of them, let them know.
Can't leave anybody out.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully you got a good picture of yourself with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Well,
Thank you,
good
Giovanni.
job.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, just what are kind of your big takeaways, being back out there?
just being able to be back in the offense, and then also just being back here with the guys, it's been amazing. Just enjoying the time, enjoying the journey. First day, little kinks that got to be, fixed out and everything. But overall, in general, I feel like today was great practice being out there with the guys.
Coach Ford seemed like he was a little bit hard on you guys, just making sure everyone's kind of on the same page, understanding the standard. How would you describe what that standard is?
Just playing to the best of our ability. Everybody working hard, giving fanatic effort, no matter what. If your role or whatever your job is that play is just the minimal, give your full effort on every single play.
Where did you see everybody kind of fall in terms of that?
I don't feel like there was really a big fall. Just a little bit of energy that just died down a little bit end of the practice, but first day kink, we can't have that energy fall out, but end of the day, we're gonna come out tomorrow. Everyone's gonna give their full out energy. Like you said, Coach Ford got on us, so we'll definitely respond back tomorrow.
Got away from those OTAs and those non-football activities. Now you're playing actual football, man. How does it feel to get out there?
It feels great just to be able to be back out there, like I said, with the guys. Just competing every single time, every single play. No matter what, like I said, just everyone giving their full effort. It's been great.
What did you notice from the offense today, and what do you think you guys want to improve on going forward?
Definitely just, completing the ball. Today we had a little bit of struggle, but overall in general, we still had a great day offensively. We just got, like I said, fix those little kinks. QB's got to get the ball to the receivers catch, and we all do our job, and this offense will fulfill the standard that we need to be at.
It was a nice 40-yard connection you made with McCranney down. You feel like your chemistry's getting closer to dialed in already?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like the chemistry with all the receivers, it's coming in every single time, every single practice. We'll build. That's what this fall camp's for. We got practice. We just had practice. We'll go into corrections and, also work that time in as well. Make sure everyone's on the same page and got the, like I said, the same chemistry and everything overall.
You look like he was really open.
Oh yeah, was able to get backside to him and was able to complete that. So it was a great feeling.
Having a freshman be the Axe winner just right off the bat, how encouraging is that? What did you see out of his energy today?
It's great. We had the best recruiting class. To come in. So Coach Ford, he brought in a lot of new freshmen and a lot of new guys, new faces. So just being able to, see a freshman come out here, compete, and take the axe. He's put in a lot of hard work over the summer. Being with, our leadership on the defense side with Cruz, being able to learn under him, and just being able to, come out and perform at a high level.
Going back to what Pete said and kind of what you said too, that chemistry, how much did summer ball help, bring in that chemistry for you guys?
You're talking about as receivers and QBs?
Yeah.
We worked out every day, through every day, 2 times a day on some. So just being able to get that chemistry down and get that timing down on, certain guys, they turn their heads a little bit slower than others or, a little bit faster. So, just being able to get that chemistry down every single day and be able to, work, be able to get that down.
Last couple questions.
Now that you're the senior leader in the quarterback room, you're going to have to go teach these guys after practice, and if so, what are you going to tell them?
Right. We got Coach Shoemaker, but me being that senior in the room, just being able to give the little tips, when Coach Shoemaker, forgets something or, see something that, I don't see. Everyone's got a different brain. Everyone sees something differently. So just being able to give an opinion of, what I see, and then if it's differently than Shoemaker, to give to the other guys, and I still gotta do some work as well. Shoemaker's gonna get on me hard, and hold me to the standard in that QB room.
I got one more, I guess, if nobody else does.
Yep, last question.
Adjusting the Shoemaker's offers, we talked about it just a few days ago,
right.
But how did it feel to, I guess, be doing live reps with the defense on the other side of the ball in Shoemaker's offense?
Right. It felt great. We felt there was a couple explosive plays that had happened today. We're in day one install, so a lot of day one stuff that we're trying to get down and get the fine-tune things down. Day one is really what your base offense is. So just being able to get all that down and create some explosive plays, especially with not having the pads on and having spiders on. So being able to have explosive plays in the run game and then also in the pass game as well, and being able to just execute overall in general has been great.